That's it. All right. Okay. Here's all of our peeps coming. We're going to start this recording, ladies and gentlemen. Hi, everyone. It's always great to be back.
Hey, everybody. Hey, Kelly.
Hello, hello. Heidi, always so great to see you. I just realized we're a little bit, those of you that are in person with us or can see us, we're a little bit in our black and white motif going on here today.
And we didn't call each other.
Call each other. It kind of happens often a little bit. I think sometimes we're like, oh, we're in our
We
whatever our
had a blue moment last week
We
or so, a
did.
couple of
We
things.
did. Oh, yes. Well, it's good to be here with you guys. And Dr. Heidi, my schedule has been a little bit like up, down, moving parts these days. So we're coming to you on like, what is today on a Friday?
Friday.
If those of you guys are with us live, those of you that are over on the podcast, we get dropped to you guys on Mondays and Wednesdays. But really, we realize that sometimes when we're teaching and we're teaching on a topic, whether that topic is something specific about like, gluten, or whether that topic is about metabolic health, or whether that topic is about, sleep, we speak to it from an educational standpoint of like, this is ideal. But sometimes what we don't really realize is then sometimes you guys think, oh, we do everything ideal. And that's not really the truth.
I wish.
I wish. And so Heidi and I are like, let's really have this open dialogue because again, I was even just sharing with Heidi that a good friend of mine's getting married. She was acting about like, I want the day to be perfect. And we're like, whoa, 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 what is this perfect? And I think if all of us work towards doing our best, feeling our best, that's the best we can do.
Yeah.
If we keep in that top of mind. And whether it's talking about your food, whether it's talking about your exercise protocol, whether it's talking about our meditation, whether it's talking about just like our energy and our mood, we want to always be at the top of our game. But are we always at the top of our game?
Not really.
Not really. Oh my gosh. And so, Heidi, share maybe a little bit like, let's just take meditation, for instance, some people are like, okay, I'm really trying to be mindful and do gratitude. I'm really trying to meditate. But in anything new, there's this newness of learning that you've got to put in the time. You've got to do the reps. You've got to do the hours. Once this period of time has been integrated and the body, the mind understands and is like now not that cognitive of it, then we have more flexibility in it, in this newness, right?
Mhm.
So just kind of from your experience a little bit, only because we're like, oh yeah, sometimes like I'm in this energy and sometimes, whoa, I'm not in this energy. And wow, I was off the radar. Because we do try to, I think the clearness of mind and the joy and really being open and receptive is something that you and I do take pretty seriously.
Yeah.
But even through that, doesn't always happen.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not like an automatic. It doesn't always happen. Life happens. And it's really about the flexibility and resiliency of the way we look at how that happens. And I mean, I want to say a couple weeks ago, I met with Kelly and I was in such a crazy mood. I was upset. I was, ruminating over stuff. And this is not my character. This is not what I strive to do, is what I can say to myself. I'm not striving to do this, but yet life overtook me and issues and so forth overtook. And I wasn't in my best meditative state. I wasn't in my best or optimal meditation, but I could get back to it faster every time because I did the work, because I've done that intensive 10,000 hours of meditation and retreats of silence and reading and studying and having wonderful spiritual teachers. And I did the work so that I can come out in the world and get off kilter, but always be aware that I'm off kilter. And I think that's the key, is that all we can do is what's in the moment. And if we start thinking about too much far ahead or what we want it to be perfect over things we have no control over, we only have control over this moment. And the trick is coming back to this moment. What can I do in this moment? And my state, my mindset is the only thing I have control over in this moment. And that really helps me come back. Is it easy? Not every time, but it's easier the more I work on it. Just like running a marathon, just like starting anything new, like you pointed out. It's hard at first, but you just do it, and gradually it becomes a part of who you are, a part of how you live, and a part of what you express out into the world.
I really love that. And I think what, we all, and at times definitely myself too, is we're looking for now quick, easy gratification. We want to be an expert in something right away, and don't give ourselves permission to like live in the messy.
Yeah.
And we have to have this live in the messy for long enough of learning, and enjoy being in that learning state, in the messy state. And in that big learning pool, then we get a little more clear, a little sharper, a little bit more organized in ourselves, a little bit more automatic in nature. Then, like you said, when anything happens that derails us, one, we have a recognition or awareness much sooner. Otherwise, you blow up and go crazy, and people don't even realize that they've been angry all the rest of the day.
Right.
But the more we've been living in this world and doing our practice, the faster, easier. And then it's up to us to say, I'm going to recenter. You don't need to go meditate for an hour, but maybe even you can go into your own room for a moment and quickly recenter. But if you haven't had that long time of learning, then it's almost impossible. You just go off the rails for the rest of the day. It's almost like the day's ruined, kind of a thing. Right. And I see that with people.
Yeah, all the time. And you think about it though, you want to look on the flip side of it. So we're always talking about the positive and mindset but our bad habits, the things we're trying to get out of, how did those become part of our life? It's because we repeated those things over and over. We gave ourselves excuses and passes and things like that, that suddenly I'm overweight, overweight in terms of I'm unhealthy, I'm inflamed, I'm not exercising, that kind of thing creeps in as a habit just as easily as good habits are formed. It's a really interesting conversation, I think, like, how come that's over there and this is so hard over here, but that just crept up on us, and we oftentimes we go back to that as our default. My question is always, why would I want to do that? I'm so uncomfortable there, so uncomfortable when I don't work out, that I just prefer to stay over here. So it's really interesting. Our bad habits crept in, and now they're those habits, and changing is hard. So what do we want? Where do we want to put our focus? And yeah. I don't know if that makes any sense. Or
it absolutely does, because all of it, it's memorized from somewhere. A habit is a habit, good or bad. And so the more you do anything, that becomes almost a part of you, right? When you do a bad habit over and over and over, somebody's angry over and over and over, almost becomes their personality. And it's like, oh, wait, but that was just a choice. And it was just because I did it one too many times that it became a part of me without even knowing. So then we tended to say, oh, I'm always angry. Oh, I'm just always overweight.
Yeah.
And we could say, what habits led that? What could be one new habit that would help me move towards the other side?
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. I think for women, we are in this big stage as we're aging of this really changing our mindset of fitness and exercise. And many of us grew up in the aerobic era of whether it was running, biking, literally doing exercise classes, but it was like, go for the hour, go for 2 hours. It was very much endurance aerobic exercise, and realizing, okay, that was fine for a season of our life, but what does exercise look like now that's beneficial? And how can I let those habits go without shaming myself? Like, I didn't get to the gym every day. Oh my God, I didn't do this. No, actually, this calmness, this changing is good for me. And what newness can I be? And I'll use myself as an example of, here I've been a physical therapist for years. I know the body well, but I was addicted to the aerobic high I got from me traditionally running. And I thought that's what I needed and I had to have it. But that was just a habit I became. And some people might say, oh, that was a good habit. Maybe for a time in my life, but now it's not serving me as a good habit. So recognizing and not beating myself up for it, but what can I now do to shift the needle to make a different habit? And there was a while that I would be like anxious when I wanted to go back to this other habit. And finally, enough working on myself, changing habit, replacing it with better habits for the time for me now. And I think that's what each and every one of you guys out there needs to realize is what's a small thing that you could replace that would be a better habit, even if it's like 1 degree better, 10% better than your other choice, and recognizing, oh, that's okay. And we're not just this completely derailed. Oh, we got jumped right back to old habits. Yeah. What's that? Because it's kind of like that. You set a goal too big or too hard, you can't achieve it and you quickly go back versus let's like do these like micro habits for improvement.
Yeah. What would you say, Kellie, was the kind of moment that shift happened, or what was the moment that shift happened that you realized I'm okay not working out every day? Like it's finally okay. Did you?
I don't think there was ever one delineating like aha moment, like we're all wondering like, oh, I had it. No. But I realized that for me, it wasn't about like weight loss. Like some people think like if I don't work out, I'm going to gain weight. I have to burn this many calories. Mine wasn't that. What I realized is my working out gave me a meditative state. Mm-hmm. And so I got anxious if I didn't do it, and I didn't realize what that was giving me. So one, I was like, wow, I think I'm making myself more fatigued from this stress of working out. And I had a few days of not working out and realizing, oh, I'm okay. But I also needed to replace that meditative state with something else. Yeah. And I never actually did a lot of meditation. And I was like, okay, now I'm realizing what it gave me. And I think still for a lot of people, they're like, I don't know how to meditate. Am I supposed to sit on a cushion? What the heck is this thing all about? Oh, my thoughts. I can't have a blank mind. I didn't know what it was about. When I tried it on my own, I thought I was failing. So I had to buy a course. So I bought a course from Emily Fletcher. My husband and I sat down, went through all her modules. We actually learned the background of meditation, what the expectations of meditation. And so it was like, oh, I got it. And then that helped me bridge that gap, but also realizing that I could feel good doing other things. So I was asking myself, what was this giving me that I thought I had to have? And it also was like a stress reliever. Oh, if I don't have it, I'll just be mad in the evening. I fight with my children. So that was like, oh, is my calmness. And then I realized, okay, I can reset myself without having to go to the gym for an hour. That I'm in that control. I was using it as my control. And I was, no, I'm in control, not some external thing. Yeah. But definitely, I would say it was a solid year or two to really work out of that. And now if I don't exercise every single day. And I have found other strategies that suit me so well, but it took experimenting and being okay with this experiment. Yeah. Like it will take me a while to learn and why, and is it emotional, psychological? Is it weight? Is it, just because it was a habit? Like what was I looking for? And what do I need to do as I'm moving forward in my life to make me the healthiest in mind and body? Because there was both in that physicalness for me. It was a mind and body component.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah. It's just for myself as well as an athlete, the obsession, I guess I would call it obsession, but the sort of the drive every day was if I'm not working out and my competition is, I just handed them the win. And I can't just do that. I got to go down fighting. I'm going to go in the arena, like Brene Brown says, I'm going to go in the arena and fight, at least give my best that day. I don't care if I lose. I'll have to give my best that day. And the only way to do that is to train. And coming off of that would have been, I think, harder, like your experience. But in that training mode, my aunt introduced me to meditation and would set up retreats that we'd go to. And believe me, I went kind of rolling my eyes, but I'd do anything she asked me to do because I believed in her so much. And I believed if she thought meditation was the answer to this, I'll do that. Okay. And I was spiritually looking for something as well. And she just kind of guided me to that. So I learned the meditation part, which really helped with my athletic part. And then when I had to let go of the athletic, the meditation got to come with me. And that transition, I think, was helpful. Like you said, it gave me another thing to bring peace, and that meditation and that calm to my body, that working out that hard and accomplishing that kind of day's workout gave me that, ta-da, you know, I'm worthy.
You're worthy, right? And I think in all of that, men, women, young, old, historically, we've been very programmed, and most of us still are to this day, of work hard, do more, keep going, addicted to cortisol. And that, whether it's working out or food or being busy, it's the breaking of that stress cycle. That's the hardest thing of us needing something. And I think when I also knew the science behind rest, I'm like, what? So those people just aren't lazy? What? Like rest is key to longevity and being healthy, of teaching the body to come down and being parasympathetic and just be. Oh, just like a doctor would give you a medicine for something or say this is what you need to do for your diet or whatever, rest is part of that formula.
Yeah.
And so even that gave me permission. And I think that's the missing thing for many people is if meditation's not your thing and you're still so go, just think of it as downtime is rejuvenation. Downtime is where you can learn and breathe and be creative and heal and repair. And so just rest sometimes can be awkward and funny. Like we're just so not used to it. I was like, what is this? I feel I need to move and do something. That was big learning for me. And now I love it so much. But I had to go through that experimental stage and feeling uncomfortable to then move beyond.
Yeah. Yeah. And just one quick addition to that, one of the aha moments after years and years of training and trying to be, a good athlete, my coach said, a day of rest is better than your best day of working out. And that just blew my mind. I said, my whole mind shift. What? What are you talking about rest? It's for lazy people, just like you said. It's like, no, if you're not resting, you're not recovering. If you can't recover, when the going gets hard at that end of that race and you have to push it for that last second or that last hill or that last mountain, you're not going to have it. So rest. Rest. Yeah. When I say it's a day off, it's a day off. And I think, I don't know, wind up our podcast is like change is hard. And you want to kind of hang out with people who've had to do a lot of changes, Kellie and I, and gone through the hard. And we're empathetic to it. We kind of have tricks and so forth. And I always had a coach. I always had a meditative teacher, had a coach, have people that was a guide to me that I leaned on. They didn't do it for me. They pointed me in the direction and said, now work. This is how you work, now work. And they stood behind me and said, no, work.
Keep going, right? You can do this.
You can do this, right? And I think that's so important. Just like you reached out, you got a course, you got someone to support you and your husband, Arthur, to do the meditation. You knew what you needed and you went and you got support. This is key. Ask for help. Get people around you that speak the language of support and help you change. You can't ask someone who's not gone through any of this, to say, well, how do I get around this? how do I change this? This is so hard for me. Go with someone who's had experience, who wants to help, be truly authentic with you and say, yeah, I've done this too. And this is where I kind of screwed up. So I'm going to save you that and put a bridge over so you can walk over that screw up stream that I had. Right. So I don't know. That's what Kellie and I like to do and want to do with people, but we really want to just reach out and just have that conversation. Like, we don't do everything perfectly. We're still on the trying train, and we're trying and trying every day. And we'd like to share what we've tried and what's been successful.
You know what? I mean, I think it's, I hope you guys really feel our heart today, because getting rid of the thought of like perfect is just the death of all of us, because there's no top. We've never reached it. If you keep at this, then you're almost defeated every single time because it's not perfect yet. And it's a little bit like chasing this goal. You hit the goal and then you're like, oh, but I don't even feel anything. I just must need a higher goal. I must need to make more money. I must need to do, like, just enjoy and appreciate the now and this presentness, and have fun and be silly. Like, don't take yourself too serious. And you're going to go like, oh, actually, it's really fun that the messy's in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah. Laugh about it. Nothing is that serious. There are things in life that are serious, but there's so much of the things that we find we get upset about or freaked out about or worried about.
Kind
Not
of
that
rob us
serious.
of that joy, right?
Kind of robs us of joy. I love that, Kellie. Thank you. Yeah. Robs us of joy.
Yeah. So be joyful in it. Have fun, be messy, experiment, try, don't get down on yourself. But if you do want to make an improvement in an area of your life, you do need a time period to practice and practice and practice. And that's exactly what Heidi was saying. In that level of practice, you often might get derailed. You just might need that coach support guidance to get you further faster in the direction you want to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Ask for help. Ask for help.
Ask for help. Oh my gosh, you guys. So a little bit of heart honesty, not that we're never not honest by any means, but we thought we'd just share a little bit more about some personal experiences, and hopefully you felt that was connecting, and that you're like, oh yeah, that was me too. Oh yeah, I've been there too. I got that. Okay, yeah, all right, there is nothing wrong with me. I'm good too.
Yeah, yeah. You're all good. Know it, feel it, believe it. We're your fans.
We're your number one fans. Oh my gosh. All right, you guys. Well, pleasure being here. If there's ever a topic that you want to discuss, that you want to know more about, I know lately some ladies have been asking me about a few topics, so we'll be getting those coming out to you guys. But we're here to help you serve, and if we don't know, we'll get the answers for you and bring you that fun and knowledge. And until next time.
All right. Take care, everyone. Be well.
See you soon.